The Keokuk County Sheriff's Office is taking applications for a full-time jailer dispatcher. The position requires a high school diploma or equivalent. Applications for employment can be picked up at the Keokuk County Sheriff's Office anytime, or go online at www.keokukcounty.iowa.gov and download an application form. The full-time position will include Keokuk County's benefit package. Starting wage is $23 per hour and could be higher depending on experience. Application deadline is Friday, August 30th at 4 p.m. or until filled. Keokuk County is an equal opportunity employer. Watch Pekin Panther football live right here this fall on Steve Shuttler Media, Facebook, and YouTube with live announcers and an updated scoreboard, plus an area scoreboard to keep you updated on other schools of interest. It's Pekin Panther football live right here on Steve Shuttler Media starting Friday, August 30th. Central Empire Wrestling presents Bridge City Slam 6 live Saturday, September 7th at the Bridgeview Center in Ottumwa. Come see Jake the Snake Roberts, Buff Bagwell, former WWE Tag Team Champions Demolition, Real One Enzo Amore, The Powers of Pain, The Boogeyman, Snitsky, Jordan Grace, Cameron Brene, and the stars of CEW. Tickets start at just $20 and include the Fan Fest from 4 to 7 p.m. Get your tickets through Ticketmaster or at the Bridgeview Center in Ottumwa. It's Bridge City Slam 6, live Saturday, September 7th at the Bridgeview Center in Ottumwa. Oh, yeah, it is. Aaron, wake up.
Hey, whoa,
You're just jamming to the music.
Yeah, I just got lost in the rock and roll and drifted away.
What's up? It's time for some real talk brought to us by New Life Community Church in Wellman. Let me get the microphones adjusted properly. There we go. I think we're where we need to be now.
All right. Well, it's good to be with you, Steve, and it's good to be sponsored by New Life Community Church in Wellman.
Yes.
Where our motto is God, friends, and fun. Because if your church lacks one of those three,
it's lacking.
It's lacking. If your church lacks God, that's a serious problem. If your church lacks friends, that's kind of a problem too. And, I just feel like church ought to be fun.
Sure.
So we try to do some things like our church anniversary will be 17 years old on September 17th. So
nice.
We'll be celebrating that Sunday, September 15th, I think that'll be our celebration day. We've done different things in the past. We've had popcorn, where we make popcorn because we meet in the activity center and there's a gym. And so for high school JV games, they open up the concession stand. So there's a popcorn machine back there.
All right. Make
a giant batch of popcorn and eat popcorn during church.
Who gets to vacuum afterwards?
Levi and I have a Bontrager. Usually vacuum. So yeah, we always try to do something fun and something interactive. I like to say church is a verb. Sure. It's not a place you go and sit. It's a place where you go and connect with God and you meet people and you have fun. And so we get people praying together or having dreaming sessions together, like
is it like nap time?
That's what Steve thinks about my preaching. Thanks, Steve. At least you're being real. No,
I thought we were dreaming. I thought I was taking a nap to dream.
Never mind. No, I mean like vision. Having vision. Like what do you want to do with your life, or what's something cool we could do for our community?
Yeah.
So we got a church full of people who like to laugh, and I'm kind of a funny preacher.
You are.
I mean, in all fairness, I'm a humorous guy. So we laugh a lot, and sometimes we cry because we've got some criers in the congregation. And so just, I love to be part of a church where there's a full range of emotion.
Yeah.
We are Iowans, so we're not great dancers.
As we showed last week with the break dancing.
And I was kind of dancing.
Oh yeah, true.
Air quotes dancing at the beginning here.
That's what that was. All right.
We're not big whoop and hollerers. We're not great at clapping. Kind of rhythmically challenged people, but we have a good time.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to talk about the importance of worship today.
Okay.
And you've been a worshiper, a worship leader for many years. How many years do you suppose you've spent off and on up front leading praise and worship?
Wow, 20 years, I would guess, maybe more. I don't know. Somewhere, we'll say 20.
20-ish years. Yeah. And my wife is a worship leader, piano player, singer. She actually, you're one of her favorite singers to work with. So
Melissa and I worked well together.
Yeah. And it sounded like worship practice was always a hoot when Melissa and Steve were together. Some silliness may have been involved, but on Sunday morning they always brought a lot of energy. Maybe we ought to get you back for the 17th anniversary worship Sunday. We'll keep you updated about that, dear listeners. But there is power in worship, but it can be tricky to find. It can be tricky to find a church, right? Mm-hmm. I've attended not too terribly many churches, but let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of 5 main churches in the course of my life. So I've changed churches a few times, and you've changed churches a couple of different times.
Yep, it happens.
So there's a time and a place for changing churches. And sometimes in between we get a little stuck and we have some gaps. I've also had 2 sabbaticals where I deliberately did not go to church for 3 or 4 months. Mm-hmm. And that's weird as a pastor to not go to church.
Yeah.
And sometimes when people are between churches, you kind of 3 or 4 months or 6 or 10 or 12. And God can do things in your life, but there's something really powerful about the people of God getting together and worshiping. And we see that in the book of Joshua. I think this is going to be our last week in the book of Joshua together. But there's the famous story about Joshua and the big wall, the wall of
China.
Yes.
Jericho.
Jericho. Josh and Jericho. Wasn't there a professional wrestler named
Chris
Jericho?
Jericho.
Chris Jericho was
the wall, and his theme song said "Break the walls down."
Was he a champion?
Oh yeah. He's still active. He's a Hall of Famer though. Yeah.
Okay, a Hall of Famer, but still active. Kind of like Jake the Snake Roberts.
That we saw at the beginning of the program.
Yeah, coming to Ottumwa.
Yeah.
Man, Austin Bayless at Central Empire Wrestling, like he is a mover and shaker.
He's got some connections.
He's got connections and bringing in some real names. So, side note there, we got wrestling on the brain a little bit. I personally do not like snakes, though, so I will not be cheering for Jake the Snake. Sorry, Jake, if you're listening.
I'm wondering if I do an interview with him, if he's going to have the snake wrapped around him, and if he's going to try to force the snake upon me.
I will just be absent for that interview. We will not do that interview on Real Talk. I really don't like snakes.
All right.
I've got a lizard living in my house.
And that's close enough.
That's close enough. It's okay. It's a bearded dragon. It's
okay.
Really kind of a cute little guy, but I don't touch him very much. He looks too snake-like. We got off track there.
Yes, we did. It's easy to do.
It's easy to do. We have squirrel brains. by which I mean we have brains the size of a squirrel brain. And also brains with the attention span of a squirrel.
Yes.
Are we still talking about squirrels?
We're talking about walls.
We're talking about walls and the power of the people of God getting together to worship. So there's these walls around Jericho, and Jericho's built up on a hill. There's and the Israelites, God's people, they've never besieged a city before. They don't have battering rams and siege towers and all the equipment to get into an enemy city. How are they going to do this? Well, what God says to them, and it's symbolic, right? Like it's a real story. This actually happened, but God did this so that you and I would have a symbol for our life, because we all face obstacles that look impossible, like the walls of Jericho, and we don't have the equipment. You say you got a financial problem in your life. You say, I don't have the equipment to deal with this. I don't have $1 million. Or you got a relationship problem in your life, and say, my mom and dad didn't tell me how to fight fair, or nobody taught me how to not be angry, or how to share my feelings, or whatever it is that you're working with. You got an obstacle in your life and you don't have the tools. So here's what God says to Joshua. And you can read about this in Joshua chapter 6. God essentially says, I'm not quoting this, I'm just kind of telling the story.
Okay.
In case anybody accuses me of tampering with the word of God. I'm just telling it off the top of my head. Get all the people together and march around Jericho once a day for 6 days. All the people walk around in silence with the Ark of the Covenant at the front. We talked about the Ark of the Covenant last week. And what do you know about the Ark of the Covenant?
It's shiny.
Yeah, it's shiny, covered with gold.
It's got a mercy seat.
It's got a mercy seat. Yep. And you don't want to open it up.
Yeah, God's presence.
We know that from Raiders of the Lost Ark, that you don't want to open it up without permission.
I know when they set up shop in the tent in the Holy of Holies, you wanted to have a rope tied around your waist just in case you died in the presence of God, and they could pull you out.
Yeah. And it's not that God was killing people. I don't think that God was, like, people weren't dying in the presence of God because God was angry at them. I think what happened there, and I'm kind of guessing, I don't know this, but here's what I think. I think you just got so close to the presence of God that your spirit was like, I don't need to be on earth anymore. I'm just going to go straight to heaven.
Could be, yeah.
So that's a guess.
I mean, it would be a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, like the pure presence of God. And then you just might not even want to be on earth anymore. So whoop, away you go. Away you go. So anyway, they put the presence of God at the front of the people. And then for 6 days, they walk around the town of Jericho. And then on the 7th day, they march all the way around the town of Jericho 7 times. And then they all shout and blast the trumpets. Yep. And then the walls fall down supernaturally. This problem, this obstacle that they didn't have the natural tools to deal with. The presence of God and the power of the people of God joining together in worship and praise. That's what brings the breakthrough. So when you get up on Sunday morning and you say, I don't know if I want to go to church, I want to encourage you. Hey, think about the power of the people of God worshiping, and then you got to access that with some faith. I'm going to be honest with you. If you go to church and expect nothing, you'll probably get what you expect. Mm-hmm. But if you go to church and you expect that the power of God will be unleashed in your life through the power of praise and worship, you will probably get what you expect. Usually in an unexpected way. Just to complicate things. So, hey, if you don't have a church and you're wondering, how do I find a church? I came up with these suggestions.
Okay.
Couple of suggestions based on the story of Joshua. Joshua marched around the city one time for 6 days. So if you're looking for a church, try visiting 6 churches one time. Okay. And then try visiting one of those churches 7 times.
Oh.
7th day. Because really, you don't get to know a church from the first visit. Do you remember your first visit at New Life?
I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, you were like, God is here and people are friendly and it's fun. That's so weird.
I'm trying to think back. Yeah, no, it's just it felt. Yeah, I mean, it felt like normal people is what I remember.
But then you didn't come back for a number of months.
Yeah, we just had to. We were feeling other places out and seeing kind of where we felt we fit in the best.
Yeah. So think about trying 5 or 6, 7 places. And yeah, you don't fully get to know a church until you've been there, more like 6 or 7 times. So keep at it. And I think this is an important one. I like to think of churches as being kind of like restaurants. Not everybody likes the same flavors.
Sure.
Right. And each church is kind of like a different flavor of the body of Jesus, or a different flavor of the kingdom of God. And everybody needs food, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not everybody likes Chinese.
Correct.
Do you have a cuisine that you don't like at all?
I'm a pretty picky eater, so yeah.
I know you'll eat pizza. We've been
Yes,
to Pizza Ranch together. I know you'll eat burgers. Are you kind of an American food guy?
I am. I stick with American for the most part.
What about, will you eat at a Chinese restaurant?
If there's like a buffet and I can like pick the meats that I know, and if it tells me what it is, I'm good. If I can avoid things that,
Would you avoid
questionable.
chicken feet if you saw them at a Chinese
Chicken
buffet?
feet? Yes, I would avoid chicken feet.
I was at a Chinese buffet once that had chicken feet. And so naturally I got one because you got to try it. You got to try everything at least once.
Isn't it just kind of crunchy and bony, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it was mostly just like fried chicken, except that there was no meat. So it's like eating chicken skin and chicken cartilage.
Was it original recipe? Or extra crunchy?
Well, let's just put it this way. I didn't go back for more. But I can say that I tried chicken feet.
There you go.
I tried it. I don't really go to that restaurant anymore.
If you see some feetless chicken.
But I tried it once, and see, like, maybe you'll go to a church one time and it'll be to you like chicken feet. But they had to be serving chicken feet at that restaurant because somebody wanted to eat chicken feet.
I guess.
So there's going to be some churches out there that just are not for you. So, hey, move on to the next one. Don't be critical. Just be kind of like, well, that was a little weird. I guess I won't go back there. But you got to try a couple of different places.
Just got to make sure that the main course
Make sure
is
there's
straight out of the Bible.
Yeah, because that's your food.
Yes.
Your Bible teaching and your worship, that's your food. And so different strokes for different folks, different flavors for different
I don't know.
people. But everybody needs to eat. So yeah, find some people you can worship with. And if you live in the Wellman area and you're looking for a church, please give New Life a try. I think I said at the beginning, but we'll say again. We meet at 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday at the Parkside Activity Center up in North Park. And we've got a couple of different groups that meet during the week at different times, young men's and young women's group. And there's a group of men that get together for breakfast a couple of times a month at DJ's Casual Cafe, and women's groups that do different stuff together. And so we've always got something interesting going on. And we're involved with Retrograde Ministries. And so if you want to need some help with overcoming addictions in your life, we've got some tools and some assistance for that. And so, yeah, we have a good time. Our motto is God, friends, and fun, and we try to live up to that. So thanks for letting us sponsor this show, Steve.
No
It's
problem.
always good to be together.
Yeah. Always fun to hang out here on a Monday evening here on Steve Shetler Media. Again, New Life Community Church Wellman, our sponsor. Aaron, we'll do this again next week for some more real talk here on Steve Shetler Media.